I'm also being joined right now by Youdon Aukatsang. She is part of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile. The Tibetan Parliament in Exile members were also met by Nancy Pelosi and the delegation that came along with her from the United States of America. Very interested in knowing the conversation that was had, the statements that have come out from the United States side that they support the Tibetan government, Tibetan Parliament in Exile, and obviously stand with the Tibetans in fighting for their rights, the human rights violations that have been conducted by the Chinese for far too long.
Yeah, that's true. It's really a very eventful day today. We've had a very high-level, bipartisan U.S. congressional delegation visiting Dharamsala, which we think and we all know as Little Tibet in India, where the Indian government has been very, very helpful in supporting our movement, and we've been here. So today we are actually rejoicing with this bipartisan, high-level U.S. delegation, congressional delegation, and it's bipartisan, headed by, as Mrs. Sikri mentioned, the House Foreign Affairs Committee chair, who is a Republican. So it's Mr. McCall, and former Speaker of the U.S. House, U.S. Congress, Nancy Pelosi. And then there's Jim McGovern, who has always been a very deeply committed representative for working on Tibet. So we're very excited. The Resolve Tibet Act has been passed. The final stages and the final procedural vote happened just recently. And now we are awaiting Joe Biden's, the president's signature, which should be happening in 2 weeks. And basically the crux of this Resolve Tibet Act is that the US Congress has fully supported the fact that Tibet was never a part of China. And they have been very much now in support of countering this Chinese narrative of Tibet being a part of China, of really kind of pushing to fight the disinformation that China is spreading, and the fact that there should be peaceful negotiation without any precondition. Those are the two main crux.
Yeah, negotiations to be had, but what is it that the Tibet parliamentarians in exile want with this resolution being signed and made an act by the United States of America?
Well, like I said before, this is really what now the U.S. Congress has stood very firmly, and they are directing the U.S. the State Department to really stand up with it and to really do multilateral kind of efforts with other countries to push for this negotiation for Tibet, like come with a negotiated settlement on Tibet and kind of counter this Chinese fake narrative of Tibet always being a part of China. And also really kind of supporting the fact that Tibet was never a part of China. I think these two are main crux, I think, of this.
What hope do you have of Tibet being returned to Tibetans and taken away from control of the Chinese government?
Yeah, that's what we are really fighting for. We are really fighting for a negotiated settlement where Tibetans get the right to self-determination, to govern themselves. That's what we are seeking. Yes,
Okay. Now, there have been a number of such visits that have taken place. There have been a number of resolutions, conversations that have been had in the United States Senate, in the congressional meetings, and this meeting is very significant in the outright support that America shows and provides to the Tibetans and your cause. There has been, as Ambassador Sikri also mentioned, similar resolutions being picked up in the Canadian Parliament as well. Do you think with the rest of the globe and particularly important powers coming together, there could be the desire and hope for Tibet to be a country of its own may turn into a reality very soon?
Definitely. Actually, the exile government's policy at the moment is middle way approach. We are seeking autonomy, a genuine autonomy for Tibetans. The future, we don't know what future holds for us, but this is our policy, our current policy. And now with this policy, with this Tibet Act, Resolve Tibet Act, if it becomes a policy signed by the US president, then this will affirm the State Department's, US State Department's responsibility to coordinate with other governments in multilateral efforts towards this goal of coming to a negotiated agreement on Tibet. And this is very important.
Okay.
Despite Chinese foreign ministry's, strong kind of, protest, I think the US government the US president must sign this and make it a policy, and then others will follow suit, I'm sure.
Mr. Aukatsang, what is the support that you are seeking from the Indian government now that the momentum has been built?
Well, the Indian government has always been very, very supportive. We are here in India for the past, since 1959, and now we want to see a much more proactive support from the in the Indian Parliament, from the members of the Parliament, from the Indian government. Let's see what maybe the US government under the Tibet Policy Act in the past has a Tibet coordinator, a special coordinator for Tibet. Maybe something like that, if not exactly, the first step could be maybe having some kind of a desk for Tibet, within the MEA. I think something like that. I think we should walk towards having more of and also kind of, negotiating with China on having councils, because in the past we've also said that there should be consulates. Indian consulate in Lhasa should be revived.
Yeah.
We had it in the past. We must have it again.
So, an action
like
that has already been taken by the United States of America in setting up a consulate. At least there were talks of setting up a consulate in Tibet, and if there could be more countries who would support this cause, well, it will definitely turn the tide in favor of the Tibetans who've been fighting this war.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.